Hey everyone, welcome to our Monday night stream. Today we are working on some hand-painted flowers on a glitter tumbler. I'm super excited to get into it today. I will get into all of the details, but before we get started, make sure that you subscribe and, share this with a friend. We're here every Monday night when we do different tumbler tutorials, crafting tutorials, every Monday at 7:30. And yes, I am out of breath because I just had my pigments explode all over me, so I had to run upstairs, put my clothes in the washing machine, and that's why I'm a minute late and a little out of breath. So let me know. Make sure that you can see me, hear me, all of the things. Kim says she had to go into school tonight. That doesn't sound good. I don't like that for you, but I'm still glad that you're here. Hi, Annette. Hi, Dawn. I'm super excited to get started. Alrighty, so I have a glitter tumbler. It is fully glittered and fully smooth. I got it smooth with Grand Finale. This glitter is called Jewels, and it is from Glitter Dip Sips, and I highly recommend it. It's really, really pretty. It kind of has like a purple, like a purple kind of in there with this gold. It's a chunky mix. It's absolutely stunning. And I'm going to paint some like sunflowery flowers. Hopefully they turn out on the top of this tumbler. So hi Tiffany, hi Kim, hi Julia, hi Crystal. Oh my gosh, it's so good to see you, Julia and Crystal. Thanks for being here tonight. I am getting everything ready to get started painting. Now my tumbler is completely smooth. You want to make sure that it's fully smooth before you get started painting on it, because otherwise you'll like be able to see the imperfections. It'll look bumpy and just not great. So you want to make sure it's fully smooth. And I've got a cup of water for my brushes because I'm going to be painting. I've got just various sizes, honestly. Just picked up whatever I could find. It was a little bit of a realization that I need some new paintbrushes. So one of these days I got to get to the store because like this one's like got paint on it. But we'll do the best that we can. I am using the CRYSTALAC Flippin' Awesome paints. I actually thought about using acrylic paints for this, but I have a different like blue tumbler that I might do a tutorial on. Let me get it for you. I don't know yet, but I do have this blue tumbler as well that I might do some flowers on, or I might like hydro dip it. I haven't decided. So maybe if I use one of my other tumblers that I have lying around here, I will test out acrylic paint and share what I learned. But today we're going to use the Flippin' Awesome paints, but also like possibly mix up our own. And because I have some pigments and some universal white, I'm just going to kind of see how it looks. Like this is the spicy mustard, and I do not love this color. Like it's a good color for like pencil tumblers and pencil like pens. You'll see me using it in my other tutorials, but as far as like a yellow goes, I don't like the mustard, so I'm gonna I might start with this, add a little bit more yellow, whatever, like come up with my own yellow for the sunflowers, because I do want it to be like a little like orangey, right? And I'm gonna use this moss green for some greenery. I don't know if we're going to get to the like greenery today, but we're going to see how far we get. So I'm thinking like 1, 2, 3, like, I don't know, like 4-ish, maybe 5 sunflowers. I want to leave room for like leaves and maybe some like secondary flowers. So we're going to see. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start with some spicy mustard, because I think it's a good like starting point. It's just not like my favorite yellow. And I'm going to add in a little universal white. My universal white's a little thick because it's just been sitting here. Remember, you can always like add more. I don't need a whole lot of paint, so I'm just going to see what happens if I just like lighten it up a little bit. It's still like pretty mustardy, but I think it'll look good with just a little bit of universal white to lighten it up. But we might need to add a little bit of like a yellow pigment to offset. I think there's got to be some like brown in here. But this looks pretty good. I'm trying to think like what sunflowers look like in real life. That like, I should probably have a picture up just to like see. But I'm going to add a teeny tiny bit of yellow in here. Not my dropper. Seen better days. All right, so a lot of people said it was cold where they are. Minnesota. Yeah, I imagine Minnesota's cold through April. I mean, it snows here in the Chicago area sometimes in April. So I imagine it does there too. Oh, thanks, Crystal. That's what I needed. The emoji sunflower. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have started with the spicy mustard, but I actually think this yellow is pretty good. What do you guys think? It looks different, like, to my eyeballs than I'm seeing on my screen, but I think it's fine. If I don't like it, and then the other thing you have to remember about mixing up your own paints, using CRYSTALAC paints or any paints in general, it will dry a little bit darker, like 2 shades darker than what you see. So it will be a little bit darker. I'm going to add like a half of a drop of red because it's so pigmented. So it will dry like 2 shades darker than what you see. So just be aware. And you can always do like a second coat. So like I can always go over the, I think this will be great. I really do. I'm going to add just a teeny tiny bit more white, and then I think we're going to be good. But you can also, like do one pass through, right? Kind of get like your rough draft, and then you can you can paint right over it and do like a second coat if you wanted. So I do think I'm at least going to do that because I want to bring in some accent colors, you know, like I think I'm going to bring in just like a little bit of white paint though, like to, I'll show you when I talk about it. I am not, and I want to be very clear, free-handed painting is not like I wouldn't consider it my strong suit. It's not something that I do a lot, so that's why I thought this would be really fun to do together to show you that you could do it too. You just got to try it. And you can always add, you can always practice and do a little better. I'm going to do like one like bigger sunflower to start. Okay, we've had a few lovely 70-degree days in South Carolina, and now it's freezing. Oh, that's wonderful. Stay safe out there. I'm so glad I found your videos in CRYSTALAC. Safe, epoxy, alternative, healthier life saver for you. Yes, Dawn, I'm so glad you are here. So I'm going to use this small brush. So what I did, for those of you hopping on late or later, I started with the spicy mustard CRYSTALAC paint, and I put in a decent amount of universal white. And then it still wasn't really the color that I wanted, so I added a little yellow pigment and a little bit of red, actually. To now make these petals. Okay, I have a smooth surface. I glittered it. It's a chunky chunky mix. You guys, I'm literally Googling sunflower before I get any further because I just need a visual here. Okay. Yeah. It's exactly what I thought it looked like, you know? I am just going to do a couple of petals. I feel like that first one was a little thick, but that's okay. And I am trying to keep it like pretty thin because I don't want it to take longer to dry than it needs to. Okay. Sorry, I got to go back to this so I can see your comments. Hi, Sue. Just got 6 inches of snow. Fabulous. Sue, I hope you're feeling okay. I hope you're starting to feel better and be able to move around a little bit more. 2 to 24 inches of snow tonight. Nothing like a solid prediction. 2 to 24 inches. It snowed not last night, but over the weekend here it snowed a little bit. Nothing crazy. But I will say I live right near a river. Okay, before I get too far, you guys, I'm actually going to paint on like a little circle here. Not perfect, obviously, but I need a better guide of where I'm making my my petals, because then the inside will be brown, and I'll cover up kind of that yellow mark right there. Like I'll paint over that brown, but I just want to kind of give myself a guide. And remember, you can always add more paint, so I'm just trying to make these sorry, I'm having trouble talking and painting at the same time, you know? It's been a while since I've been live, so I'm not used to it. Today I had a slight setback. Okay, I do hope tomorrow is better. I'll text you to check in on you. I forgot what I was going to say. I have had this tumbler, this very tumbler, sitting here, just glittered. It's probably been like a year. Probably a year. And I'm just like, what do I want to do with it? What do I want to do with it? In the fall, I thought, you know what? Some like fall flowers would be really pretty. And then I didn't get around to making it. So here we are. Here we are. More flower. We're just like doing it now. We're doing the flowers now because better late than never to paint here. Oh, I started to say I live near a river. Yes, I live near a river, and it is so flooded. Like, normally, like, the closest, like, road to the river, it's not, like, on the river, but, like, you can't normally see, like, if you go for a walk, you can't normally see any part of the river, and it is very much flooded. It's very much flooded. So there's been a lot of snow and rain, not all at one time, but it's still accumulating. So, but you know what? I Googled, I said, when do sunflowers bloom? Because Crystal's telling me I'm early for fall, right? And maybe that's just what I need to do. I should probably just like skip over spring and summer and just be like, you know what? It's probably best if you just get started on your fall and holiday wintry tumblers. But I Googled when do sunflowers bloom, and it said the summer, so I think it's right on time. I'm going to do 2 more down here.
They say sunflower season starts each year in late summer and stretches
late summer.
Sunflowers typically
Alexa, stop. Hey, Google, stop. So I don't know how my robots thought I was talking to them, but late summer and then early fall.
Here are other things you can try.
All right, so I'm just making these petals, knowing like this inside part doesn't look great, okay? And that's fine because I'm going to paint that brown, and I'm going to go over a lot of these petals again. And I'm going to fill in some on the back, but I think I'm going to add a little bit more red to this. It's a little, like, it doesn't look great over here, but that's okay. And you want to know why it's fine? Because in nature, nothing is perfect. Oh, that's going to be too much red. The red pigment, the red CRYSTALAC pigment is like so pigmented, and I just kind of put a lot in there. So we're going to see how that goes. See, like now I can't undo the red that I just put in here. I might have to start fresh. See, now it's like straight up salmon. So, here's what I'm going to do. Do some yellow. It's fine. It will be fine. We'll make it work. I'm going to put a teeny tiny bit of this paint in here. Then I'm going to stir it up. I should have just left it. I should have just left it. But that's okay. It'll be fine. Okay. I actually like this color that it is now. I'm going to put a teeny tiny bit of, yeah, it could be orange, but that's like real salmon. Really, really salmon. Pretty color though. So there's my advice to you when you're mixing up your paint. What I should have done is just put like a popsicle stick in the red pigment, because that's how much you need. Like, that's all that you need. Okay. My hands are real dirty. I don't need to ruin another outfit today painting. So, okay, my 3-foot high raised garden, you can barely see from our snow. Oh my goodness. That is a lot of snow. Okay, so this is like mostly dry. I am going to go in again and add a little bit more. Okay, so you can see if you look really closely, it's definitely streaky, and that's going to happen with, if you use the CRYSTALAC paints, you might have a little bit better luck with the CRYSTALAC paints, or with like acrylic paints, but then you have like to really like make sure you're taking all the necessary steps to let that dry and seal it without it cracking. So I'm just going to go over these. Kind of get them wet again, because I'm going to show you kind of what I'm going to do. So I'm also going to go in with, like, after I do my grand finale and get this get a few coats on there. I'm going to take like a Sharpie pen or just like a marker, like a paint marker, and draw in some details. So the one thing that I was going to do, and now I realize I can't really do, I don't think, is I was going to start with my universal black. Like I was going to make it a little bit brown because it's got to be a dark brown for this inside, you know, to like look semi-realistic. So what I was going to do is I was going to start with universal brown or universal black and add a little bit of brown pigment, but I think I'm all out of universal black. So maybe I'll use so there's sunflower number 1. I'm gonna let this dry a sec, and I'm gonna actually do like a second row of petals. But first I'm gonna see if I can grab my see if I have any universal black in here. We painted shelves with universal black, so I think we used it all, but there's like, well, maybe there's gonna be enough. Let's see. It's like the littlest bit in here. But I'm thinking, since I'm literally painting like 3 circles on this whole thing, I'm going to grab a teeny tiny, like the littlest drop of universal white. And then I'm going to add in some number 6 brown pigment to make it more of a dark brown. We're going to see. We're going to see. I think that's pretty good. It's a little... So it's like definitely more brown than it is black. I'm wondering if I lighten it up a little bit, because since it's gonna dry 2 shades darker, I can look. It's like kind of like a slate almost, but I think it'll be good for this. Here, I know this is weird, but I'm gonna put in a little of this spicy mustard. To make it a little bit more like brown. Because the black pigment is like really, just like that red, the black pigment is really, really black. So it's pretty gray right now. Add a little bit more brown. So when you're using the Flippin' Awesome paints, they need to dry for 4 hours. It's kind of, no, this is, I don't know about this, you guys. I don't know about this. Okay. That's better. There we go. There we go. Okay, now I gotta leave it be. So, what I was saying was, they need to dry for 4 hours before you recoat them or put your top coat on them. So you just have to keep that in mind when you are painting and doing this. I am going to take some of this brown in here and start filling in this middle portion just so I can get a better idea of, does this look okay? Can I leave it, or does it look like a 5-year-old did it, you know? Like, did my child actually do this? Which, if it looks like that, maybe we'll just pretend. No, I'm just kidding, kind of. I'm going to try to do a little bit better of a job getting this rounded out. So we can just have a better idea of how this is gonna look. So then I can add, like, once this is dry, I do feel like it's gonna need a little, like, another coat, but I can also add in some, like, darker or, like, different details, maybe even lighter on the sunflower. Like, here, let me rinse my brush. Like, if I went in, I might be ruining this, but like this kind of like orangey paint, just taking a little bit and just kind of like bringing in a little texture to the sunflower goes a long way. Like, a little will go a long way, but I can kind of create some like of the shadows, and it can kind of blend in with the paint you have on there. So doing that does make it look, you know, a little bit more realistic. But like I said, also, I am going to go in with black and probably white details with like a marker after I get the grand finale on this as well. But you can only put so much paint on while it's still wet. You do have to work in layers. But I like adding in the different colors. So to get the shading that just looks really nice, making it a little bit more realistic visually. But I'm going to be using like a pen. I think it looks cool. I've seen some other people do it, and I can record that and do a tutorial and share kind of how it went for me. If you guys are interested in that, you guys can let me know in the chat. But here is our first sunflower. I think it's okay. What do you guys think? It's not bad. I think it'll look good with some extra petals in here. Like in between here, doing some extra petals. And then obviously it'll look even stronger like once the marker kind of details go in there. So let me know in the chat. I'm not gonna do more details. I think I'm gonna start a second sunflower. I'm trying to figure out how much how many sunflowers I want versus how much room I would like for like green leaves, because right now it's kind of like the yellow on the gold, like it looks good, but it'll look really, really good with some other colors. So I'm trying to figure out how many I want and where to put them, but I think I'm going to do like a small one right here. Let's start with the orange. Start with the brown this time. Kind of do a small one here. And then maybe like another, maybe I'll do like 2 more. Like, that one is so big. That's like a little bit bigger than I probably should have done it. But that's okay. We'll do one maybe like, I kind of feel like maybe that one should be up more, but that's okay. We'll do, it doesn't matter. Maybe we'll do one like right here. Probably would be smart to actually paint the other one before I decide, but it's fine. I am a firm believer that everything is fixable. Everything is fixable. So even if I decide this wasn't the best placement, I can fill in with like greenery and maybe some like white kind of like flowers. Like I'm imagining like a baby's breath situation, but not kind of, if you know what I mean, like just like little white flowers kind of sprinkled in places. I think that could look pretty cute just to bring in another color. Just gonna blow on this for a second. You could also use the inks on the next layer to get some shading. Yes, I could. That actually is a good idea. Maybe I'll try that out. I'm going to make this one smaller. Do you guys have any questions about next steps, using Flippin' Awesome, using acrylic paint instead? I'm trying to read the chat. My computer's being a little weird, but I think I see them. So all of the links to everything I'm using, besides these crappy paintbrushes that I'm sure are from Michael's or Amazon, are in the description. But you likely, if you already make CRYSTALAC tumblers, you can likely already use the stuff that you have, which is super nice. I think that not just sunflowers, but any kind of flower would look really pretty. I saw one, it's been a while, so I don't know who it was who posted it, so my apologies, but like it was perfect for spring. It was a light blue paint, and I think it was just paint, not glitter, but you could use glitter if you wanted to. Just a light blue, and then like pink and white flowers painted on with some greenery, and the greenery was more of this like this moss green color, like this kind of like silver green, I don't know. And it was so pretty. So I would definitely play around with kind of what colors you like. You know, like not everybody likes sunflowers. I like sunflowers. But you can totally do this for spring and summer. Right around the corner. In some places, it's nice and like spring-like. Just not where a lot of us are, and the northern part of the country or in Canada. Could we use pop of color paint with CRYSTALAC? Okay, so I have tried. I have tried, and it was a little bubbly, so I wasn't recommending it, but I haven't tried it with Grand Finale. So if you have them, I would definitely test it before you commit to doing an entire tumbler. I have some still because I like bought some and then never really used it. So I can also try to test again. So here's my smaller one. I feel like it looks weird here, but it's fine. Here's how this one's drying. I feel like now that it's drying, you can see a little bit more of those accents, which I think on this I need to blend a little bit better, but it looks good. I like it. What do you guys think? I definitely think the having the shading and either it doesn't have to be like this. I'm only using this paint because it's like already here. But like you could do it with white. You could do it with, you know, a different color yellow. Like, and you can kind of see how it goes. But I do recommend getting a little bit of shading done in there. It just brings your design out a little bit more. So do we think that's a good spot? I mean, it's going to have to be this last spot for a sunflower, and the rest can be kind of green. And I definitely still want like the gold to show. Like I love this glitter. I don't want it to like not show at all, but obviously I'm covering it up. So if I want a whole tumbler to be in this glitter, then I'll just have to make another one. Okay, I'm gonna do this last sunflower. I'll start on this side. I think that'll be good. I could do another like little small one down here, maybe that like overlaps on the bottom even, or just like half of one down here maybe. Do you guys think the half, like if I just did like a semicircle and then did the petals, do you guys think that would look okay down there? Now it's getting hard to hold this because I don't want to touch any wet paint. And I feel like hopefully I've been keeping this in camera. I feel like I haven't really been. So my apologies. So let me know what you guys think about the half sunflower on the bottom. That would be cool. Yes, half one. I know I could kind of like wrap it around. We'll see. I might start with just do the half, and then if I'm feeling confident, then maybe I will wrap it around the bottom. But because I was also thinking like, yeah, I feel like it could be cute to have just like a sunflower, like a small sunflower on the bottom. But if the leaves are kind of on the bottom, that would be cute too. So next week, next week, I think we're going to do a rhinestone pen, but with a pattern. One of my followers on Instagram, well, one of my like very first students in my Tumbler class, actually, one of my very first students in my Tumbler class that I'm running right now, her daughter does like really fun rhinestone projects. So she has these patterns. She's been posting them all over Instagram. And I'm like, I need to do that. We need to do that. So we're going to do it next week. It's going to be so cute. And I'm super excited about that. And then we've got, I think the week after we'll do some like CRYSTALAC inks. Just kind of play around with those. And I have another thing planned, but I can't really remember. So if there's anything you guys want to see live, let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat what you guys want to do. If there's anything you've been seeing and been like, wow, I wish I had a little more information on that. Let me know. I think you should sign it. Hand-painted flowers on a pen. Oh, you hand-painted flowers on a pen and wish you would have signed it. Yes. I know. I could. Maybe I'll do like half and half and then sign like on the other side. Like if my petals don't take up the whole thing, maybe I'll like sign it down here. You know? I love it. I'm so excited. And it's like far from perfect. Like this sunflower looks kind of dumb, but like I don't even care. Like I don't even care. I think it's fun. I think that's like the beauty of hand painting things. Like it's just not, it's never going to be perfect, but sunflowers like in the wild are not perfect. And then like it's mine. You know what I mean? Like I painted that. Okay, so I am not so sure about the green situation. I'm looking on my phone to see kind of what leaves. I feel like I need like another layer of flower, like another layer of petals in here before I can, you know, like kind of. What do you guys think? Do you think I need more in here? I don't know. I think it'll look good with just a little bit more. Because I want to do like leaves, obviously. But then I also want, I don't know if I want like 2 shades of green or what, but I also don't like know what kind of leaves I really want. So I'm not even sure about these extra little petals, but I think it'll look better when I go in with the marker and kind of like detail out what's the front, what's the back. You know, what's the deal with these, you know? Like if I do have to figure out what shade of green I want. How about a daisy? I do like daisies. So I bought half of my sentence started with, so I bought and then didn't make. I bought a bunch of rhinestones to do daisies on a tumbler, and I need to do that before summer comes because I don't know, I like saw don't know what I was thinking. I think I was just thinking about like Gilmore Girls when she's like 1,000 yellow daisies. And then I was like, I want to do daisies. And that's just kind of how my brain works. Something super random. But I want to see like how this green looks next to it. You know, like, is this a good matching green? Maybe we can decide that before I get into well, I guess maybe I should mark. All right, I take it back. I need to mark where I'm going to do this half sunflower. I think that'll look really cool. I'm not going to do the bottom half. I'll just like do it separately. After it dries, but let's do this first. What do we think about this green and this yellow? Do you think I need a darker green? This is moss green, flippin' awesome. This is moss green, and then this yellow I kind of made myself, but it was started with the spicy mustard base, but I also mixed in some more yellow pigments and a teeny tiny bit of red pigment, and a little universal white. So what do you guys think about this green right here? I think it'll be fine. I'm just like wondering if I need something a little bit darker. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, darker. Yes, see, okay. So I'm wondering how we should make this green darker. We've got some options. Maybe we should test that out. Maybe that's what we should use our remaining time doing. Figuring out the best way, to make this green a little bit darker. And the green pigment is like really emeraldy. And if you haven't made your own paint with it, it looks, if you mix it with universal white alone, it is like this, an amazing mint green. Highly recommend. But that's just kind of how it is. So if I, like, you can see, like, if I add more of the green pigment, it's not necessarily making it darker. You know what I mean? So that's why I think I'm going to add a little bit of this brown that we mixed up in here and see how that does. I don't necessarily want to go like with the straight black pigment because then they all kind of look pretty gray. I need more in here. You know what I mean? So they look gray when you add in black. So I'm going to try to add in this like dark brown. Oops. And a little bit of green first. That's what we're going to start with. So if I see this green is like really, it's really pretty. But like I said, not necessarily the right green on its own. But if I can just make this moss green a little bit darker, I think it's like a good shade of green. You know what I mean? Like it's a good shade. Earthy. If you get what I mean. So I feel like that's the way to go, like adding in a little bit of this like brown and black. Or you start fresh. You know what I mean? Like sometimes It's good to have the Flippin' Awesome paints because it's like a really good place to start, but sometimes the color you need is just a little bit in a different direction. So Wendy has a great idea. I forgot I had this blue up here. I was avoiding doing blue and green because I thought I only had yellow. Or blue and yellow because I thought I only had yellow, but then I saw it hiding up there. So I'm going to add in a little bit of blue because, yes, blue and yellow make green. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to go really slow. I haven't used these like droppers in a really long time, so they're kind of like dried out. So now you can see them next to each other, right? We got a little darker. In real life, there might be a little too much blue in here, but I'm just going to go with it. It looks a little bit different in person versus on camera. So the last thing I'm going to do is take a teeny tiny bit of this yellow paint and put it in there. Not the, you could do the, what's the word? The pigment as well, but I'm going to put in a little bit of the paint. So, we got a new green. So this is how it started, moss green, and then here it is with a little bit of brown, a little bit of black, a little bit of blue, to cool it down just a little bit. And it'll dry 2 shades darker. So it'll dry even just a little bit darker than what that is. I feel like I'm getting paint everywhere. So I'm not going to go through and do all of these leaves or anything, because like I really need to think about that. I feel like I'm off to a good start with my sunflowers, but I don't want to ruin what I've been doing by slapping leaves on here. But I think like essentially like it'll be, you know, just some greenery around. Like, I think that green looks nice. What do you guys think? And once I get like my details around like the sunflower and then like I'll trace these leaves, they'll be a lot more defined. But I think that's sort of the green I'm looking for. And then I'll add some kind of like randomly all over the place. So do you guys have any questions? Maybe I'll finish up this yellow one down here while we're here and hanging out. How's everybody adjusting to daylight savings? I personally am not a fan, especially with young children. It's not my favorite day. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of add some leaves down here while I can. While I'm here, while I've got the paint. I need to buy pigments. I like it. Oh, thank you. Yeah, you know what? I like the pigments. I'll say this. I do use the Flippin' Awesome paints a lot because it's so easy. Like this is not. It's so easy just to like go like take it out of the cabinet and go. Like I really do like that. But there is something about just being able to mix up the exact paint that you want. There's something fun about it being like specifically what you're looking for. It's fun to play around with the colors and like remember, you know, how mixing mixing colors works and kind of like how that all comes about. It's like fun. And then you have like very unique tumblers to you. Can you do a live on a geode tumbler? Sure. Will you let me know if you want like which kind of geode tumbler? Like do you want like the ones with like the bunch of like glitter lines? Or do you want one where you like remove some of the top paint layer to kind of expose it? I have tutorials doing both ways on my channel, but I absolutely can do one live. I haven't done one in a really long time, so that could be really fun to do like a glitter geode if that's what you're... I could do either one. Whatever you want. So I love it. I love it. I love it. I think it's going to look so good with the detailed lines. Like right now, it just kind of looks like a green blob. But once I define like that it's two actual leaves, I think it'll look really, really good. And I think my sunflowers are fine. Good enough. Good enough. I will be keeping this tumbler. I can only get better. You know what I mean? Like this is like my... I've only hand painted on tumblers a few times. So, just got to practice. If you're nervous about painting on a tumbler, you can practice on like a canvas before you do it. I was going to, but then I was like, you know what? We're just going to go for it. So I think the placement of the sunflowers are good. I think it needs another coat of paint. I'm going to let it dry. Well, I'm going to let it dry for more than 4 hours, but you want to make sure that you let it dry for 4 hours. And then you get all your painting done. I would even let it dry a couple of days, but don't recoat the paint for at least 4 hours. I'm going to do a couple coats of Grand Finale, and then I'm going to go in with, you can use paint as well. I'm going to use like a thin paint marker probably to do the details. I've got like a white and a black that I'm just going to kind of add in some accent lines. I'm going to finish painting on some leaves and maybe even some like smaller white flowers around. I haven't fully decided. Instead of spray paint, which CRYSTALAC product can I use to make a hydro dip? There are none that you can use for a hydro dip because the reason a hydro dip works is it's an oil paint and water, because oil and water don't mix, but all of CRYSTALAC products are water based, so it's just gonna create colored water. I've used the Marabou marbling inks, and then I just bought, like they just got delivered, some new marbling paints that people have been using on TikTok. So I will test those out before I say officially, but it seems that people really, really like them. So the paints come in like really small bottles. They last a really long time. I think the marbling paints work better than spray paint. I think they're easier to work with. But you're not going to be able to use any CRYSTALAC paints for a hydro dip, unfortunately. You could like kind of try to paint your own, but hydro dipping is actually really, really fun. So as soon as it gets warm enough outside, I am going to test out the ones that I just bought. So sorry, Maria, that you can't use them, but you'll have to, you got to use the paints designed for that are oil-based. Okay, so are there any other questions? Here's a final look at the sunflowers. I think they look really good on the gold. I'm really excited. I almost didn't go with sunflowers. I almost did a different color. Oh my goodness. I almost went with like a different color flower, but I think the sunflowers are really, really good with this gold. So here we are, and I will keep you posted. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram so you can see how this tumbler turns out. I will record the process of all the details too and post that here on YouTube as like its own separate tutorial. But yeah, so I will see you guys next week. Again, thanks for being here tonight. I hope you guys had fun. I had fun. And if you guys decide to hand paint on any tumblers and you want to share them with me, I would love, 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 love to see them and cheer you on. So either post them on social and tag me or send them to me via message. I would love to see what you guys are working on. I will see you guys next week. Same time, same place, 7:30 Central. And thanks for being here. I'll see you next week.